Hello. Uh, I hope by now you have already reviewed the computation for the problem, and I hope you were able to get it as I have initially given you. If you have any questions, you may ask me uh, through the messenger. Now, let's start with chapter 2. You have already learned how to form a partnership and now we will discuss how to divide profits. As I have told you in our orientation, again, it's not often na walang usapan sila sa division of profits. Laging may usapan yan. However, in theory, halimbawa, for the sake of argument na talagang walang usapan, ay babalik kayo sa initial capital, yung prorated initial capital. Now, the basis on which profits or losses are shared is a matter of agreement. So, laging may usapan among the partners. They may not necessarily be the same as their capital contribution. Ibig sabihin nun, maring mas malaki capital ni A, pero mas maliit ang share niya sa profit. Depende sa usapan nila. Maaari kasi si B, kukunti ang kanyang cash contribution or asset contribution, pero marami rin namang siyang naitutulong sa korporasyon. I mean sa partnership. So again, it really depends on the agreement of both partners. And let me repeat, in the absence of an agreement, you go to the initial capital. There are times that as you know, pag tumubo, malaki capital based on what we have learned in our accounting 1, at pag nalulugi at ni-reverse yung losses sa capital, nababa ang capital. Minsan, nag-uusap sila na depende sa present capital, sa ending capital or average capital. We'll teach you how to compute that. Now, on page 2-3 of chapter of your book, there is an illustration. No? And let me read it to you. Nelson Daganta is a one-third partner in an ambiguous partner. Hindi malinaw ang usapan yun pag sinabing one-third lang siya. Daganta may have one-third equity, maaaring one-third ng kanyang kapital, but might have larger or smaller share in the profits or loss of the firm. Maaaring one-third ng kanyang cash or asset contribution, pero ang kanyang share ay mas malaki sa profit and loss. So, if pag sinabi na one-third lang siya, he is entitled to one-third of the profit or loss. Malinaw yon pag sinabi. Pag hindi naman sinabi, hindi sila nagkasundo, you go to the capital. There are several factors that you should consider in arriving at the plan for dividing profits and losses. Now, partnership profits are realized as a result of putting together the contribution of money, property, and industry of the partners. The amount of capital invested by each partner, the amount of time each partner devotes, and other contributions that are factors being considered in the formulation of an equitable profit and loss ratio. Minsan kasi, hindi lang siya industrial partner, capital partner, pero siya ang nagmamanage. So minsan nag-uusap sila, o sabi ni A, ang capital ko 100,000, sabi ni B, ang capital ko 50,000, pero magpapatakbo ng negosyo ay si B. Maaaring maging usapan nila ay si B ay mas malaki ang share, or let's say 50-50 sila, miski mas malaki ang capital ni A. There are profit sharing plans which emphasize either the value of personal services rendered by individual partners. So kinukompute nila yan, pinag-uusapang maigi. Okay? There are two factors that may be incorporated in the plan. One is a partner has a considerable personal financial contribution, or malaki ang kanyang contribute, thus giving the partnership a strong credit rating. So, malaki ang lalagay ng kapital para tayo ay pagkatiwalaan ng ating mga suppliers. Since general partners have unlimited liability, a very solvent partner will make the partnership attractive to creditors. Katulad nga na sabi ko sa inyo, ang partnership, pag nalugi o nagsara, pwedeng habulin ng mga may pautang, suppliers, creditors, ang iyong personal properties at personal na assets. Ganon kahirap pag partnership. A partnership who is well known in the profession or an industry may contribute immediately to the success of the partnership, although he may not participate actively in the operations of the partnership. Maaring isang sikat na negosyante, isinali mo, partner, o sige, wala kang ilalagay na kapital, pangalan mo lang. Ganun yun. Miski hindi siya kasama sa management. Pero malimit kasi, ang pangalan ay malaking bagay sa negosyo. Pag nakinig ng isa ng mga suppliers na si ganito, si A ay nasikat na negosyante, ay kasosyo ko dyan, malaki ang factor, malaki ang chances na magtitiwala ang mga tao, mga creditors sa iyo. Now, let me give you an illustration on 2-4. Daria Tolentino and Eleanor Tan are partners in a cocoa water business. Partner Daria contributed most of the assets. Si Daria, pinakamaraming na-contribute na assets. Assets, halo-halo. Of the business, but spends little time for its daily operation. Pero hindi siya kasali masyado sa pagpapatakbo ng negosyo. On one hand, partner Eleanor Tan contributed less in assets, but devotes her full knowledge, ng kanyang galing, and attention to the partnership. To divide profits or losses based on capital contribution alone will resort to inequities. Maaaring kukunti ang kapital ni Eleanor Tan, pero siya napakagaling magpatakbo ng negosyo at siya ang laging naroon sa negosyo. Kung divided equally ang kanilang profit and loss, maaaring lugi si Eleanor. Or maaaring lugi si Daria Tolentino kasi mas malaking kapital niya. To divide the profit and loss sharing agreement should be considered the provision of salaries and even bonus in the recognition of the talent and time being contributed by TAN. Okay, halimbawa, ang profit natin ay hati tayo. Pero sa tinubo natin, babawas tayo ng sweldo para sa iyo, TAN. Kasi ikaw naroon sa negosyo. At bibigyan ka ng bonus. So, hahaba ang computation. Mamaya we will show you examples for that. Now, minsan performance method ang pinagbabasihan. Maraming pwedeng kombinasyon ng paghahati ng profits and losses. Ang importante lang lagi ay kailangan sila ay nagkakasundo at meron silang agreement. Now, many partnerships are profit and loss sharing arrangements that give some weight to the specific performance of each partner to provide incentives to perform well. Maaaring sa partnership, sasabihin eh, sige, meron kang extra bonus kasi ikaw nagpapatakbo. Siguraduhin mo lang na tutubo tayo ng maganda. Now, bonuses are computed based on performance. Maaaring dahil sa dami ng oras mo, with number 1, chargeable hours, gano'ng karaming oras ang iyong ang ginugugol sa negosyo, total billings, write-offs, promotions, and civic activities, profits in excess or of specified levels. Again, pinag-uusapang maigi yan at nagkakasundo bago mag-umpisa ng negosyo. Okay? There are rules for the distribution of profits or losses. Profits or losses shall be distributed in conformity with the agreement. Laging idinidiin yan. In conformity with the agreement. If only the share of each partner in the profits has been agreed upon, the share of each in the losses shall be in the same proportion. So, kung ang usapan nyo sa tubo ay 60-40, 60 si A, 40 si B, ganun din kayo, ganun din sila sa kalugihan. Profit and loss sharing. Kung anong usapan sa tubo, yun din ang usapan sa kalugihan. In the absence of stipulation, kung walang usapan, the share of his partner in profits and losses shall be in proportion to what they may have contributed. Yan ang sinasabi. Kung magkano kanilang kinontribute sa original capital nila. Sabi yan ng batas. Civil Code of the Philippines, Article 1797. A stipulation which excludes one or more partners from any share in the profits and losses is void. Hindi po pwede na mapag-usapan nyo, halimbawa ABC, pero si C hindi sasama sa tubo. Bawal yon. Hindi pwedeng ang isang partner ay hindi makasali sa paghahati ng tubo. Wala rin naman papayag doon. Pero sinasabi malinaw ang batas na hindi pwedeng gano'n ang usapan. A stipulation which excludes one or more partners from any share in the profit or loss is void. The partnership must exist for the common benefit of or interest of the partners. Kailangan mabubuhay ang inyong partnership para makinabang lahat. There are legal provisions. Profits, nariyan yan, 2+5, mapapag-usapan nyo. Depende sa profits. The profits will be divided according to the partners' agreement. Number 1, 60-40 ba yung AB? 50-50 ba AB? O 30-70 ba? Nasa usapan yon, agreement. If there is no agreement, letter B, as to the capitalist partners, the profits shall be divided according to their capital contribution. Now, nabanggit ko na ang industrial partner ay kasama sa tubo pero hindi kasama sa lugi. Kaya naman, if there is no agreement at meron kayong industrial partner, hindi pwedeng mangyari yun. Kasi walang usapan, hindi makikinabang ang industrial partner, so void. Okay? Losses shall be divided according to the partner's agreement. Depende rin sa usapan. Now, in the distribution of profits and losses, number 1, they are based on partners' agreement. The partners may agree to the 7, may agree on any of the following schemes distributing profits or losses. Now, by the way, balik tayo ng konti. There are, minsan, may namimiss kang expense or income, halimbawa 2021, na-miss mo. hindi mo na isali. And nakapagsara ka na ng books. 2022 na. Na-discover mo January. So, ang tawag doon, i-adjust mo prior period adjustment. So, you adjust the prior period. Kung na-discover nyo the following accounting year or the following year through the capital. Kung lugi, kung expansion, debit the capital, and debit the capital and credit cash kung kailangan bayaran or credit payable kung utang pa. Minsan kasi, as of December 31, 2021, meron palang delivery. Hindi mo na-record na debit, merchandise inventory, credit, accounts payable. Nakalimutan i-record na accountant nyo. Na-discover na yun noong January na. Nakapagsara na ng books as of December 31. So, entry na doon ay debit, merchandise inventory, credit, capital. Now, merong expense na hindi na isulat. Dapat December 31, ang entry ay debit, expense, credit, accounts payable. Nagsara na. So, na-discover noong January, ang entry debit capital, credit, accounts payable. Yun. So, yun ang tawag doon ay prior period adjustment of errors and of errors. Okay. Now, distribution of profits and losses based on partners' agreement. Number 1, pwede nilang pag-usapan equally or in other agreed ratio. Maaaring 50-50, dalawa lang sila halimbawa. Maaaring 50-50, maaari namang 60-40, 70-30, 30-70, depende sa usapan. 2, based on partners' capital contribution. Ito na nga. Malimit, pinag-uusapan nyo, sige, para malinaw lang o magkano na lang kung lahat sila ay capitalist partner. Ha? Okay, malinaw na lang. Based on our capital na lang. Si A nagbigay ng 100,000, si B nagbigay ng 200, di si A, ang share niya ay 1/3, at si B, 2/3. Maaari din naman ang pag-usapan nila ay ratio of capital balances at the beginning of the year. Kasi at the beginning of the year, na-adjust na ang profit and loss ng previous year. Kaya nabago na nabago na ang capital structure. Pwede rin naman pag-usapan nila based on the capital balances at the end of the year. Depende. And pwedeng usapan nila ratio of average capital balances. Sir, paano yun? Kukumputin mo kasi minsan may mga partner na sa gitna ng taon nagdadagdag ng kapital o nagbabawas ng kapital. Kaya makukompute mo doon, we will show you how to compute it later on. Maaaring nakita nyo na as you have already made a advanced reading of chapter 2. We'll show you later how to compute for the average capital and then yun ang magiging basis on the division of profits. Number 3, by allowing interest on partners' capital and the balance in the agreed ratio. Halimbawa si A nagbigay ng 100, nagbigay ng 200 si B, sabi nila, teka, kung ito ay nilagay ko sa bangko at hindi ako sumali sa iyo, dapat kumita ito ng ganito. So mag-usap tayo. Maglagay tayo sa 5% interest. Tapos yung matitira, ang usapan natin, according to ratio or divided equally. Again, nasa usapan. Or by allowing salaries to partners and the balance in an agreed ratio. Maaring si A, walang ginagawa. Si B, siya lang nagpapatakbo, pero pareho silang tigbo 100,000 ng capital. Sabi ni B, teka, bigyan mo muna ako ng salaries. O iba ito sa salaries ng operation. Ha? Yung salaries is only used in the computation of the profits. So kung may salaries siya during the course of the operation, iba yon. Ang tawag lang dito sa division of profits ng salaries ay salaries. To differentiate lamang. B, by allowing bonus to the managing partner based on the profit and the balance is in a grade ratio. O, halimbawa, si ABC. Si AB, capitalist partner. Si C, ay industrial partner. O, sasabihin, o, teka, bibigyan muna kita ng bonus bago natin paghati-hatian ang ating tinubo. Kasi ikaw nagpapatakbo. Kasi napatubo mo na maganda. Sasabihin niyo, sir, paano kung lugi? Depende pa rin sa usapan. Maaring bibigyan pa rin siya ng bonus. Depende sa usapan. Kasi naman, nalugi nga pero ibinigay na niya ang kanyang galing. Okay? And number 6, by allowing salaries, interest, on partner's capital, and bonus to the managing partner. Mahaba ng mahabang computation. And the balance in the agreed ratio. It is a combination of number 3 to number 5. Sama-sama yon. Note that the partners can agree on not using residual sharing ratio. The balance in the agreement if profits do not exceed the total salary and interest allowances. In such a case, the partners must agree on the priority of the various profits or loss distribution schemes. Okay, now let's go to the illustration. Okay, medyo mahaba to kaya puputulin ko itong video na to and maybe later on I will start again another video. Now, the following series of illustrations are based on the figures obtained from the Biore and Besario partnership, which had a profit of 300,000 for the year. Yung dalawa, Biore, and Besario. 300,000 ang tinubo for 2019, their first year of operation. The partnership contract provides that each partner may withdraw 5,000 on the last day of each month. So may usapan na sila. Magkakaroon sila ng drawing na 5,000 per month. Hindi sinasabing sweldo yun, kundi drawing. On the last day of each month, both partners did so during the year. So ginawa nila yon. The drawings are recorded by debits of the partners' drawing accounts and shall not be considered as the division of profits or losses. Yan. So alam niyo naman pag drawing, debit drawing, credit cash. Pero nasa usapan nila, hindi yan kasali sa division of profits. Drawing yan. Okay. It is the intention of the partner that each partner share in the profit or loss be either credited or debited to the drawing account. So, buwan-buwan mula January hanggang December, withdraw sila ng withdraw 5,000, 5 times 12. So, 60,000 bawat isa mawi-withdraw. At kung, ayon sa usapan nila, at kung tumubo sila, at kung anuman ang maging share ng bawat isa sa tinubo, ay doon ipapasok sa drawing account. Halimbawa, maging share ni Biore ay 60,000, doon ipapasok sa na-withdraw na niyang 60,000. Ganun yun, usapan nila. Christopher Biore invested 400,000 on January 1, 2019 and an additional of 100 on April 1. So, yan nga sinasabi ko kanina, within the year, nagbabago ang kapital. Kasi minsan may magdadagdag, may nagbabawas. Gross Besario invested 800,000 on January 1 and withdrew 50,000 on July 1. These transaction events are summarized in the following capital, drawing, and income summary ledger account. So ito yun, on page 2-8 of your textbook. Pag ganitong explanation, susundan nyo through your book. Ha? So, ang total capital ni Biore ay 500,000 kasi January 1, 400. At noong April 1, nagdagdag siya ng 100. Si Besario naman, ang total capital na niya ay 750 sapagkat noong January 1, naglagay siya ng 800 at nag-withdraw ng 50 noong July 1. Ang drawing ni Biore at ni Besario ay tig 60,000 for the year. 12 buwan ayon sa usapan. Kumita ng 300,000. Closing entries na. Alam niyo naman ang closing entries. Close all expenses to the income summary account. Close all revenues to the income summary account. Close the balance of the income summary account to the capital. Naroon na tayo sa pangatlo. Pero partnership to. Hindi katulad ng sole proprietorship na diretso sa capital. Meron silang usapan, di ba? So, i-compute muna kung papaano hahatiin yon. Kung ang usapan nila ay equally divided, equally divided, ang partnership, ang hatian sa 300,000 ay debit income summary, credit drawing ni Biore, credit drawing ni Besario. Kasi yun ang usapan nila. Kung ano man ang maging tubo, nasa page 2-7, kung ano man ang maging tubo, ibabawas sa kanilang na-draw noong taong yon. Okay. Kung nalugi naman ng 200,000 for the end of the period, the income summary would have a debit balance of 200,000. This loss would be transferred to the partner's drawing account by a debit to each drawing account. Lalaki kanilang drawing. Debit drawing, 100 each, and credit income summary, 200. Okay, so madali. Madali pa yun. Pag equally divided, walang ka-problema. Ang daling compute. Assume instead that Biore and Besario share profits and losses in the ratio of 60-40. Yan. And instead of 300, the profits would be divided as follows. The 300,000 profit will be divided as follows. Debit income summary, 300. Credit Biore drawing, 180. Credit Besario drawing, 120. Paano kinupit yun? 300 times 60% per Biore and 300 times 40% for Besario. So yun ang magiging entry. Madali pa rin. Kasi given lahat. Given lahat ang ratio. Malinaw ang usapan. Paano naman kung ang usapan nila ay based on capital contribution? So, page 2-9, page 2-9 shows the same example, same illustration, if the agreement is based on the ratio of original capital investment. Ito magiging sharing nila. Debit income summary, 300,000. Credit Biore drawing, 100. Credit Besario drawing, 200. And how was it computed? Kay Biore, 300 times 400 over 1,200,000. Yun ang total capital nila, 1,200,000. 500 plus based on the original capital, di ba? So, original capital is 400 at 800, 1,200,000. And kay Besario naman, 300 times 800 over 1,200,000. Okay. After the entry allocating the profits of 300,000 to Biore and Besario, Are the partners supposed to receive cash for their respective share? No. Accounting entry lang yan. Kasi i-reverse mo uli yung, di ba? Ang closing entries, close all revenue to your income summary, close all expenses to your income summary, close the balance of your income summary to your capital account, and close the drawing account to your capital. So ngayon, after ma-distribute ng ganito ang profits, i-reverse na yung drawing account sa kanyang capital account. So, kung base dito, magkano ang magiging mare-reverse na drawing account ni Biore? Kasi nagka-share siya ng 100,000, may debit na siyang 60. So, debit, income summary, 300,000, credit, Biore drawing, 100, and credit, Besaria drawing, 200. Magkano na ngayon ang balanse ni Biore? 40,000 credit. Kasi 100 minus 60. At kay Besario naman ay 200 minus 60, which is 140. This time, i-reverse yun ang drawing account to your capital, to their respective capital. Kaya, nag-divide by profit nga, pero wala silang cash division. Yun ang malinaw. These are all accounting entries. Okay? Assume that the partners' agreements for the division of profits is the ratio of the capital balance at the beginning of the year. Well, yun pa rin. Kasi first year of operation nila. In this case, the original capital are also the capital balances at the beginning of the year, since the partnership is only on its first year of operation. The profits is divided the same pa rin as the original capital. Okay. Now, ratio of capital balance at the end of the year. So, magkano ba ang capital balances ni Biore at the end of the year? 500 na. At magkano ang capital balance ni Besario? 750 na at the end of the year kasi nagdagdag at nagbawas sila bawat isa. So, if that is the usapan, kung yun ang kanilang usapan, the entry will be debit income summary, 300,000. Credit Biore drawing, 120. And Besario drawing, 180. How are you able to compute this? Ito, sa next page, sa 2-10. Biore will get 120 because 300,000 times 500 over 1,250. Kasi 1,250 na kanilang kapital. And Besario will get 300,000 times 750 over 1,250. Ayan. Now, computing the average capital is a bit complicated. Kasi katulad nga niyan, nagdagdag si Biore at nagbawas si Besario. So, how do you compute for that? 2-10, lower part. Ang capital ni Biore noong January 1 ay 400,000. Pero, 3 buwan lang yon. Kasi January, February, March na 400,000 ang kapital niya. Noong April 1, 500,000 na kasi nagdagdag siya. Sa makatuwid, 9 na buwan siya, ang kapital niya ay 500. So, to compute 400,000 times 3 over 12 and 500,000 times 9 over 12. So, ang average capital ni Biore is 475,000. Tandaan niyo yung computation niya, ha? Si Besario naman, on the other hand, ay 6 na buwan siyang 800,000 kasi January, February, March, April, May, June. 6 na buwan. Kasi naman noong July 1, nabawasan ng 50,000. So, how do you compute for their average capital? 800 times 6 over 12 and 750 times 6 over 12. Or the average capital of Besario is 775. And the total average capital is 1,250,000. 775 plus 475. Now, ngayon, kukumputin nyo na kung magkano ang sharing nila. 300,000, debit income summary, 300,000. Credit, Biore drawing, 114,000. Credit, Besario drawing, 186,000. How did you get that? Kay Biore, 300,000 times 475 over 1,250 is equals to 114,000. And kay Besario is 300,000 times 775 over 1,250 is equals to 185,000. Actually, kung alam nyo lamang ang proseso, ang dali. Ang dali niyan. Now, it gets more complicated pag naglagay ka na ng interest, capital, interest, salaries, and bonuses. And we will proceed with that now. Now, halimbawa naman, sabi nila, sige, kung inilagay ko sa bangko, ang perang iyan, ay kumita dapat yan. So, let's put, sabi ni Besario at saka ni Biore, let's put provision na paglagay tayo ng interest coming from the profit. Okay? Should allow interest on partner's capital balance and is almost similar to dividing part of the profit in the ratio of partner capital balances. If the partners agree to allow interest on capital as the first step in the division of profits, they should specify the interest rate. Given yan. Lagi sa problem. It should also state whether interest is to be computed on the capital balances at dapat malinaw usapan na kung saan ibabase ang interest. Normally sa capital balances. On specific dates or on average capital o sa beginning balance ba? Sa original capital ba? O sa average capital? Pag-usapan nila yon. Now, partners invested in the partnership for profits, not for interest. Remember, kaya ka nagnegosyo ay para kumita, tumubo, hindi para kumita ng interest. Kaya naman ang interest on partners' capital along with other profit sharing plans to be discussed in the remainder of this chapter are to be considered as mere techniques to share profits and losses. Tinawag lamang na interest. These are not normal operating expenses. Hindi yan normal operating expense. Ganun lang ang tawag. That is just their way or their technique on how to divide profits. Call it interest, call it bonus, call it salaries. Remember, hindi yan expense by the company. Yan ay, it is a way only in distributing profits. To continue the illustration of Biore and Besario with a profit of 300,000. Same problem, same illustration as already shown. Assume that the partners' agreement is to allow 15% interest on average capital account balances with the balance to be divided equally. So usapan nila, sige maglagay tayo ng interest na 35% ng ating average capital. At yung balanse, kung meron pa mang balanse na matira, ay hahatiin natin equally. So this is the computation. If they, usapan nila average capital So si Biore will get 475 times 15. Si Besario will get 775 plus times 15. At ang total ng dalawang yon ay 187,500. So may natira pang 112,500 sa total na 300,000 net profit. Kaya naman, ayon sa usapan nila, divided equally. Tig 56 to 50 sila. Kaya naman si Biore will get only 127,500 and Besario will get 172,500. Sir, hindi ba lugi si Biore? Wala tayong magagawa. Una-una, yun ang usapan nila. Ang usapan nila ay magbibigay sila ng 15% interest average capital. Syempre, mas malaki makukuha ni Besario kasi mas malaki ang kanyang kapital na inilagay. So, ang journal entry to close the income summary is debit income summary 300, credit Biore drawing 127,500, and Besario drawing 172,500. So, ganun, pag sinabing meter, lahat naman yan given. Kukumputin nyo lang. Kaya tandaan nyo, sabi ko sa inyo, sa partnership, maraming computation. Wala na tayong entry ng bihira ng entry natin sa assets and liabilities. Kasi pareho rin ang accounting yan. In a related case, assume na lugi ng 10,000 for the year, December 31, 2015. Nalugi ng 10,000. Ang usapan nila na magbibigay ng interest ay i-honor. Usapan na eh. Kaya naman, still, 71,250 makukuha sa ni Biore sa interest at si 116,250 kay Besario. Now, 187,500 na yun. Lugi nga na 10, di nadagdagan ang lugi. Ang lugi na ngayon ay 197,500. Paano ngayon hati niya, sir? Di ba usapan? Divided equally. Yung balance is to be divided equally. So yung 197,500 is to be divided equally. Sir, kulang pa si Biore. Tulak pa siya ng 27,500. Wala tayong magagawa. Yun ang usapan nila. Kaya magiging entry ay debit, madadagdagan pa ang drawing ni Biore ng 27,500, credit income summary na 10,000 kasi nga loss, and credit Besario 17,500. I hope you understood that. Huh? Kung meron silang usapan na magbibigay ng interest, i-honor mo na yun. Kung kulang, well, depende na sa hatian sa ilalim. Medyo pahaba ito na pahaba. Ha? Halimbawa naman, okay, malaking pagbabago pag nalugi. Pero ang bottom line, kailangan pa rin i-honor ang kanilang napag-usapan. So, magbabayad ng interest, bayad ng interest. Kung lugi pa, ay di sa ilalim na maghahatian. Depende sa usapan. Now, sabi naman dito, by allowing salaries to partners and the balance in an agreed ratio. Okay. The sharing agreement may provide for variation in compensating the personal services contributed by partners. Again, this is not an expense. This is just a technique in dividing profits. Now, continuing the illustration for the BRM partnership, assuming that the partnership agreement provide for an annual salary of 100,000 to Biore and 60,000 to Besario, and the balance to be divided equally. So, salary muna, 100,000, 60,000 kay Besario, 160,000 na yun, 300,000 na profit, 140 ang balanse, divided equally. So, Biore will get 170, mas malaki ngayon si Biore kasi siya naman yata nagpapatakbo. At si Besario 130. Debit, income summary 300,000, credit Biore drawing 170, Besario drawing 130. Kung nalugi rin, katulad ng previous example natin, previous computation natin, i-honor pa rin, susweldohan pa rin, ayon sa usapan. Now, by allowing bonus to the managing partner based on the profit and the balance is balanced in an agreed ratio. Now, malimit kasi ang mga partners ay nag-uusap, katulad nga nitong kaso nito, mukhang si Biore ang nagpapatakbo ng negosyo. Kaya sabi nila, okay, bibigyan ka namin ng bonus. Muna, bago natin natin. Si Besario, kung wala namang ginagawa, wala siya bonus. Assume that Biore and Besario partnership provided for a bonus of 25% of profit before bonus to the partner Biore and the balance to be divided equally. The profit of 300,000 shall be divided to 75,000 kay Biore. 300,000 is the net profit before bonus. Tatandaan yan kasi susunod, medyo nakakalito ito. And the balance, ayon sa usapan nila, to be divided equally. So 75,000 kay Biore, wala kay Besario, at yung balancing 225 divided equally. 187,500 kay Biore, 112,500 kay Besario. And the entry is debit, income summary 300,000, credit Biore drawing 187,500, and Besario drawing 112,500. Okay. Tatandaan nyo, babantayan nyo yung problem. Before bonus ba o after bonus? So paano kino-compute, sir, yun? Assume instead that Biore and Besario agreement provided for a bonus of 25% to Biore after the bonus. Sir, paano yun? May computation yan. And the balance to be divided equally. It is understood in the wording of the agreement that the 25% bonus will be based on the difference after deducting bonus from the certain amount, and certain amount is the profit after considering the operating expenses but before the bonus. Here, the 300,000 profit still includes the bonus. Di ba? Kasi before the bonus yan. Yung 300,000 is net income before the bonus. So, paano, sir, computein yung net income, yung bonus after giving the bonus? Here, the difference between the profit and bonus shall be basis of the 25%. Hence, the profit after the bonus represent 100,000, while the profit of 300,000 before the bonus is 125. Kung ang 300,000 ay profit before the bonus, 300,000, it means 125% yun. And the profit after the bonus is 300,000 divided by 125%. Take note of the computation. So magkano bonus? 60. So the bonus kay Biore, 60,000. And the balance to be divided equally to tig 120 sila. And the entry will be debit income summary, 300. Biore, drawing 180, and Besario 120. Sir, pakiulit. Ang profit before bonus ay 300,000. Given yun. Malinaw. So, kung yung 300,000 ay naroon pa ang bonus, ibig sabihin, 125% doon. Naroon yung 25% na bonus. So how do you compute for the bonus, for the profit after the bonus? 300,000 divided by 125%. So magkano ang profit after the bonus? It's 240. So magkano bonus? 300 minus 240 is equals to 60,000. Balikan nyo yan. Namnamin nyo. Yan. Now, eto na, kombinasyon ng lahat. By allowing salaries, interest on capital, and bonus to the managing partner, and the balance in an agreed ratio. Kombinasyon ng lahat to. The service contribution and capital contribution of the partners are often not equal. If the service contribution are not equal, salary allowances can compensate for the difference. Kasi yung capital nga, maaaring malaki, pero wala siyang ginagawa. Pero yung isa, mas medyo maliit ang capital, pero marami siyang ginagawa. Para ma-compensate, nilalagyan ng salaries ang nagtatrabaho. Or when the capital contribution are not equal, interest allowances can make up for the unequal investment. So kung magkaiba ang capital, lalagyan ng interest para somehow na-equalize. When both service and capital contribution are unequal, the allocation of profit and loss may include salary allowances, interest on their capital balances, and bonus to the managing partner, and the balance divided into agreed ratio. Note that the provision for salaries, interest, and partnerships are called allowances. These allowances are not reported in the income statement. Again, this is just a technique in dividing their profits. Assume that the profit, baguhin natin ng konti assume that the profit for the year is 400,000 na. And the partnership agreed for the Biore Empresario Partnership provided the following: bonus to Biore of 25% of profit after salaries and interest but before bonus. Titingnan nyo maigi yan, ha? Bonus to Biore of 25% of profits after salaries and interest but before bonus. Kaya bibigyan si Biore ng 25% bonus pagkatapos ibigay ang salaries at interest pero bago ibigay ang bonus. Makukompute yun. Annual salaries of 100,000 to Biore and 60,000 to Besario. Interest on average capital of 71,250 and 16,250 to Biore and Besario respectively, given and the balance in the ratio of 40-60. 40 kay Biore, 60 kay Besario. Yun ang usapan nila. Malinaw. Kailangan i-respeto yun at sundin. So, yung 400,000, uunahin yung salaries. 100,000 kay Biore, 60,000 kay Besario. Solve na yan. Interest, given, 71,250 and 116,250 kay Besario. Ang bonus, kay Biore lang. Pero ang usapan ay bonus to Biore of 25% after salaries and interest but before bonus. Magkano na na-distribute? Isang 160 at saka isang 187,500. So, magkano na lang natitila sa 400,000? So, 25% So magkano natitira na lang sa 400,000? Teka, ha? 400,000 minus 160 minus 187,500. So natitira na lang sa profit pagkatapos magbigay ng salaries at interest ay 52,500. Diyan kukuhanin ang bonus na 25%, which is 13,125. You need to compute para maintindihan nyo. So bibigyan si Biore ng 13,125 na bonus, and the balance, magkano pa ang balance na natitira? 39,375 kasi 400,000 minus 160 minus 187,500 minus 13,125. Yan na lang ang natitira, 39,375. Ano usapan nila? 40-60. 40% kay Biore, which is 15,750, and Besario, 23,625. Take note, ha? You follow the procedure. Sundin nyo lang procedure. Hindi kayo mawawala. Now, so ano magiging entry? Debit income summary, 400,000. Credit Biore, 200,125. And credit Rose Besario drawing, 199,875. Assume naman instead that the bonus to Biore is 25% of profit after salaries, interest, and after the bonus. The computation for the bonus is this: 400 minus, of course, the salaries, interest, 52,500 na natira. That is profit after salaries and interest, but before bonus. So, it is 125%. If 52,500 is the net profit after salaries and interest, but before bonus, it means it is 125%. So, how do you get the bonus? 52,500 times 100 divided by 125,000 is equals to 42,000. Yung 42,000 is the profit after interest and after the bonus. So that's only time that you get the 42,000 times 25%. Yon, which is 10,500. And the entry will be income summary, 400 debit, credit Biore drawing, 198,550, and Rose Besario drawing, 201,450. Yan ay very fair, well, the fairest of their contribution, cash, and service and industry. Yun ang usapan. Irespeto ang usapan. Some of the topics below are required. Well, yeah. I will leave you at this muna. Papahinga ko lamang ang ano ko. At I will continue the discussion for chapter 2 later. I will stop muna. So, dalawang video ang padadala ko for chapter 2. Ito muna, this is video 1. I will tag it accordingly. Okay?